John, you wanted to come in on this, and then I think I'll bring in Assembly Member Garrett.
Yeah, thanks. And it's very much on the question you ask. Is it achievable? Will we ever get to vision to zero? I'd like to think so. I think it's a realistic target. I think if we can aim to be there or thereabouts and going forward maintain that position, wonderful. It's doable. I think to get there, there needs to be a broader view. And I keep saying this, but it's very important to remember that if we're going to get to a perfect scenario, which I imagine is everyone's perfect scenario, there's very few cars on the road. Everyone travels by public transport. The people who move the public transport, we need to remember they're humans.
Yes.
The answer, as I said previously, the answer isn't solely in a mechanical answer. I think if you look at the bigger picture, we need to have some proper assessment on things. What actually works in London at the moment now, because we're going to have to take steps to there. Eventually, when we get to the nirvana, where very few cars are on the road and everyone's using public transport, there may be, and I don't mean to poo-poo over anyone else's ideas here, but from a bus driver perspective, one of the biggest concerns at the moment that keeps getting past to me is e-scooters, people weaving in and out. And maybe at this moment in time, with the weight of traffic as it is, maybe now's not the time for e-scooters. And we need to be used to introducing the ideas at the right time about this. At this moment in time, if we want to achieve the move to public transport, we need to think about what the public wants. There's surveys going on and they're going to lead to cuts on public transport. At this moment in time, during the COVID times, people don't want to be sitting next to each other. So if we want to remove the hazard of car drivers from the road, then we need to offer the public a decent public transport system. And that should include, and I appreciate that everyone wants the pandemic to be over, but it clearly isn't. I don't know, and several of us have made the mistake of thinking, oh, in the next 6 months, everything will be okay, and it hasn't been okay. I'm not going to make the same mistake of thinking in 6 months' time the pandemic will be clear, and next January we'll be in the same position. We need to start gearing for the here and now. And if we want people to go on public transport, then it has to be appealing. Is it a difficult, and I'm no scientist, so I'm not going to pretend I know, but I understand in operating theatres it's quite a simple mechanism to have air exchange systems where the air is drawn out of a bus. And this, if we could offer people that, then, or a train equally, tube, if we could offer people that, then surely they'd be more confident in going back to public transport. At this moment in time, I appreciate not everyone's going back to the office and less people now, so, but before we got to this stage and everyone was starting to see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, the evidence would show that public transport usage was at about 76%. Road usage had returned pretty much to normal. And that in itself should surely be an indicator that people aren't yet confident in public transport. So if we want to, and going back to the question, and I'm sorry for being so around the point, if we want to get to a place where we actually have vision zero in front of us, a lot of it depends on giving people confidence to use public transport to make the roads less busier so that the cyclists can be safer, the e-scooters can be safer, the pedestrians can be safer. I think everyone understands that. So public transport is at the very root of this. And to achieve the perfect standard, we're going to have to build confidence in the mode of travel. And part of that also is looking after the people who operate the mode of travel, i.e. the drivers. Sorry if that's...
Lovely. No,